At this time, the City of Shamokin Council meeting on July 10th, 2023 will be called to order. Please rise for the pledge of the flag and remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. All right. At this time, Mr. Slavy, will you do roll call?
Councilman Milburn. Councilwoman Mashinsky.
Here.
Councilwoman Boyer.
Here.
Mrs. Boyer is participating by telephone. Councilwoman Ennis.
Here.
Mayor Over.
Here. All right, do we have any presentation? All right, at this time, under acknowledgements, it gives me the honor to swear in 2 new officers to our Shamokin Police Department. Just so the family and everybody knows, once the swearing in is over, you do not have to stay for the meeting if you would like to exit and go. But at this time, I would like to swear in Seth Hart. Seth, would you come up here with me and any of your family walk with you? Bob Hart. I, Seth A. Hart.
I, Seth A. Hart,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
defend the Constitution
defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge
and that I will discharge
the duties of a police officer
the duties of a police officer
in the city of Shamokin, Pennsylvania,
in the city of Shamokin, Pennsylvania,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Seth, congratulations. At this time, I would like to ask Officer Noah Smith to come forward, and any family that would like to join us, please come forward. solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge
and I will discharge
the duties of a police officer
the duties of a police officer
in the city of Shamokin,
in the city of Shamokin,
Pennsylvania with fidelity.
Pennsylvania, with fidelity.
I'm very thankful that we were able to hire these two gentlemen. They are going to be such an asset to Chief Psycho and the rest of the department and the city of Shamokin. So I wish you two the very best in your careers.
Mayor, you mind if we get the two with yourself? You're good, I'll take it. Okay, right here, gentlemen, on three. 3, 2, 1. So much, thank you.
Stay, hold on, more pictures.
All right, at this time, Mr. Slavy, do we have any bids? Any correspondence?
Question was correspondence. The correspondence that I have received over the last month, a copy of it is in council's mailbox for you to review, and to state any comments or talk to me about it, but I wanted all of you to have a copy of it, which you do now. So that's
Citizens' comment contingent upon business listed on the agenda. You will only get 3 minutes.
I started. Anyway, Joe Lashinsky, 518 East Pine. Larry, I want to say for probably the first time in my life, I agree with the news item with the article that was put in Friday's paper. I think the majority of council was available to have that vote, but it wasn't the outcome that the administrator, maybe other people wanted. So I want to get to tonight real quick. He's called that meeting Wednesday in accordance with this. He didn't have the meeting because there wasn't a quorum here, which is whatever. But so he's had that meeting because you wanted the correct wording in an ordinance, right? I have the advertisement you put in the newspaper. That was the exact general advertisement with no amendments, which is required under third class city code. There's gonna be amendment to an ordinance, and I can give you the code, Mr. Greco. I know I'm on a time frame here, so I'm kind of shuffling. which I think is crazy, but I never called a time clock on you, Rick, but whatever. Publication of proposed ordinances, 11018.9. 2C, re-advertise when the event substantial amendments are made in the proposed ordinance. Before voting upon enactment, council shall within 10 days re-advertise in one newspaper of general circulation a brief summary setting forth all provisions and amendments in reasonable detail. That didn't happen, okay? Then you go and you say, well, we're gonna redo it because there was typographical errors after my challenge. So tonight you're gonna vote on the exact same thing, which is renumbered as 23-04, because 2303, after 10 days, the ordinance you passed became law here. You can give me, I'm not gonna get it, but if you give me a couple seconds, I can find you the third-class city code where it states that you're basically reenacting the same thing, which you're not allowed to do. And it'd be in violation of the code. It is 11039. Number of proposed ordinances to be submitted and elections limited. Any number of proposed ordinances may be voted upon at the same election in accordance with provisions of the subchapter. Proposed ordinances on the same subject matter shall not be submitted by petition more frequently than once every 3 years. So here you have 2303 that is put through, which according to your agendas, I don't care what the advertising says, the agenda to the public says you're voting on to place a home rule charter to be put on the November election ballot, which you have no authority to do. It's a question. All right, here we go.
That's it.
Rick, I just asked, like, I didn't call the clock on you, Rick, when
3 minutes, you're done.
I got a little respect.
How about you have some?
I respected you when you were,
I think your Facebook says nothing.
am I lying?
There's no respect.
You flipped on everybody, Rick.
You know what? This isn't about you and I.
This is about the city
That's
and
right.
what you
And
and I campaigned
told
on.
you what I did.
You lied to, you flipped on
I didn't
everybody.
lie. I admitted I made a mistake. I admit it.
What's the old home rule compared to the new home rule you said about? There's no difference. Any home rule's home rule. You used it to get
I
elected.
was used to people would be appointed, nobody would come off, nothing would change.
What was that?
When I knew about home rule 30 years ago, people would get appointed, they'd never come off, nothing would change.
That was
That's
never
what I
explained
was
with any of the, you know, you jumped on.
Okay, Joe, Mr. Nishinsky, you're done.
So we're gonna vote on Attorney Greco.
Just to answer one point, 11039 doesn't apply, because if you look further up on the third class city code, that's the section which governs initiating ordinances by electors. Okay, by petition of 100 people that would petition council. That's what that section applies to.
You're enacting the same subject matter though, as 2303 is exactly 2304.
But the section you cite is dealing with this section, Joe. Seriously. So just go up and look under 11030.
So, but Attorney Greco, what difference is in 2303 that you're correcting, do you need to enact now 2304? Because you're voting on the same exact thing
You're
of
repeating
putting
that,
up.
correcting the errors. But anyway, so
But
look at that
20
section, but respectfully, that doesn't.
Do you agree though that 2303 and 2304, you have no authority to put a home rule charter on the November ballot? What is, and I still want to know from Barbara Moyer, what does you guys want me to support this? You have asked me to support this, come out and help support it. Can somebody up here tell me what a government study commission does? What do we study? How do we study? When do we study? What do they do? Nobody has an answer. Mrs. Moyer is going to vote for this now for the 7th time in her 10 years she's been here. And she doesn't know what it does. I mean, if they cared, they'd be enough to be here. I mean, how many times have we voted over the phone? We passed an ordinance when I was here. I think the times are up. We're voting over the phone. I mean, you get elected, you should be here. And that showed Wednesday when Tanya was the only one here. There was a majority in town. I appreciate your honesty during. I got elected to be here to help defend people here, and so did you, Rick.
I took my first vacation in probably 17 years.
Congratulations.
Boy, you want to fault me.
I'm not faulting you for it. I'm not faulting you. You were here. You were at the high rise.
No,
before
I
the-
was not.
Yes, Tanya, did you talk to him at the high rise before the meeting? True,
No.
true.
No,
Correct. You're
I-
lying now.
I am not.
I know mom said so.
She didn't know.
Anyway. 2304 is the same exact thing as 2303, and you have no authority to put
Okay.
a charter on the ballot, and you don't know what a commission does. So what is it, can someone tell me what? Rick, you're ignorant, man. When you were laid in the hospital with COVID, I didn't call the clock on you. When you were laid up for 7 months with COVID and couldn't breathe, I didn't call the clock on you. How about respect, man? If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be there.
I'm following protocol.
Protocol.
You're done.
You're ignorant. You've changed so bad.
Now we're getting into insults.
Yeah.
I'm not insulting him.
You told me I'm ignorant.
It's the truth.
Oh,
You don't like the truth. You give me 3 minutes to bring
You never had a problem with 3 minutes when you sat there.
huh?
You never had a problem with it.
Did anybody ask me for an extension of time? No, Moyer's the one that always said no to Jesse Storm. Not me. If somebody's got a legit concern to bring to council of something you can't do, you're doing wrong, if you just want the question on the ballot, do it right.
If you have the right.
I would still be there, Rick, if you kept your word to me.
No, don't you dare.
I have the method.
John, you're gonna have to.
I just want to know what a commission does and what's the difference between 2303 and 2304. That's it. If you can't answer it, I mean, I don't know how you can vote for something you don't know what it is. Call the clock, call me troublemaker all you want, it's the truth. If you don't know what it is, how can you vote for it? You're trying to take people's money, and that's it. Rick, how much EIT do you pay? None. How much property tax do you pay? None. You went against everything you ran upon, man. I'm so disappointed.
Now we're starting your language.
Bob, you're a waste of $100,000, man. There's $100,000 you can save about that.
Okay, I've had enough. Chief, will you please remove Mr. Krasinski from the room?
Is he being disruptive?
I mean,
Remove me
you're
from the
becoming
meeting,
disruptive, you're insulting. How much longer are you gonna keep it up? We're asking you to please sit down. You're taking it out on
I
him,
sat
then
down
you
there.
switch gears, and now you're coming after me. I didn't even join it.
I sat down. You want me to leave? I'll leave. You're gonna do what you want anyway. But I'm gonna beat this again.
I don't care.
You do care.
No, I
Because
don't.
you're trying your damnedest to steal people's money.
Chief Psycho, we're done. The mayor has asked for Mr. Krasinski to be removed.
Then remove it. Get the camera and remove it out. I'll see you in court.
All right, let's push forward.
We're starting now. Mayor, my question is for you. When you first took office, you guys voted on legislation that would prevent call-in votes more than twice per year, correct?
On what?
You guys passed an ordinance that stipulated that you couldn't have more than 2 call-in votes per year.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your shit.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so if you guys voted on that and passed that ordinance, would I be then correct in understanding that the current councilwoman that is not present, her vote would not be counted tonight, even though she's participating in the phone? Since you guys already passed that ordinance.
The third class. It does not specify.
But you guys passed an ordinance.
No, the third class city
Do you have
code
a
is
copy
not
of the
specified.
ordinance with you for reference?
I do not, but the mayor's the one that introduced the ordinance at the very beginning of this term. And you guys voted on it and passed it. Maximum two phone calls per year. And they passed that ordinance.
I don't recall, this is her second.
This would be her third because she called in, her first 2 were when she had her surgery and she couldn't make those meetings.
Mrs. Moyer, Mrs. Moyer,
Yeah, I'm here.
Jesse Storm was questioning the, the validity of you voting by telephone. He's saying that we passed an ordinance that calls for a maximum of 2 phone-ins, and that you already used that 2 up. According to the third class of the code, there's nothing that states that you can only do this twice. But if it is an ordinance, which no one here has an ordinance, that I wasn't aware that this was going to come into question, or I have an ordinance book here.
And that seems like a good idea. I'm not really discussed how this is my medical races or
I understand. I certainly understand.
for to and you do that in 2022.
Yeah, I can't hear it at all.
Okay, you want to repeat that, please?
What I said is I'm not about to discuss, that's not what the meeting is about. My medical or personal situation, let's do some research. Some people may be referring to a meeting that I missed in 2022, but I think the proper format is to do some research and we'll take it from there. So I think we need to move on to what I'm saying.
Mr. Meyer, based on the ordinance, you're not going to be able to vote by telephone. But Attorney Greco was also saying that he would like to see an ordinance.
I'm looking, I can't find it.
Where's the ordinance? It does say except for illness.
I don't remember the ordinance number off the top of my head.
No, but it was at the beginning of.
It was one of the first month or two you were here because they started that in the prior council. And then you had brought it up, I think, in the very first month that you were here and you guys voted on that.
Scott was still here at the time.
Yeah, Scott wrote this.
He was out for the others.
Based on the minutes.
It's not the same minutes for the ordinance, it's the ordinance. Right, there's some.
Downstairs.
Well, let's just take a moment and let's.
What was that?
All right. I stopped the clock.
Are we calling a timeout on the meeting? Okay.
Sure. I said this is ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan.
Can I ask a question then?
If it's all right.
Oh, no, let's just wait. If you don't mind.
I just had a question about,
I mean, I think it's right, but what about when the vote is downstairs, she's downstairs, because she's in the steps? She's still out of the like that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, she's downstairs.
No, it was in the bill.
Yeah, I mean, is that?
No, I wouldn't say so because you're in the bill. Yeah, I want to do it.
Okay, that's where I'm gonna
They're going after the actual ordinance.
They're not gonna find it, it's a resolution.
That's just a resolution?
Yes.
hobbies. It's nothing major, I don't
You
have.
could have brought can.
So it's May the second.
It's all in that desk drawer over there. I heard about it. Oh my gosh. Clean it out. And why, God?
Let me turn this thing down, why it ring? Turn this down, why it ring?
Oh. So, it's not common now. They can't figure it out. Yes. I didn't know you knew about that.
Yeah. Oh, he's got. Yeah. So I'm taking care of business. Fish. And it's hard. So then, so like I can't do one more thing, even like where I'm at right now, I'm like, I don't know, this for my, go back when they planned it was 7 months ago, like I did do that weekend, so, cause I knew that I had it. But it was like, Jason, and I was also gonna
Yesterday, you could see they look like bracelets in. And they don't want to tell me. I took a look at it. No, so I guess, if I did look at it, yeah, if I'm back.
Thank you very much. It looks like a lot.
Right. You call him Matty Wagon.
Okay.
There's a maroon truck parked down right there. A maroon truck?
I'm down to one.
Somebody else in the room, truck, just stuck him in the back of.
The cruiser was right behind me.
Thank you.
Running.
What's that? They'll touch it, Tanya. Jesse. Oh, CDBG doesn't know that. Or the action. Okay, perfect.
Oh, you're the
Mr. Store, that was not an ordinance, that was a resolution. So that was part of the delay because we were looking through the ordinances. But it was a resolution, but it said that the city of Shamokin intends to permit attendance at city council meetings by the mayor and city council by telephone. Video call not more than twice per year. However, the third class city code states that telecommunication devices are possible at the attendance at meetings, and I'm paraphrasing this. However, if the person is prevented from attending due to illness or disability, care for the ill or newborn members' immediate family, number 3, emergency. So, given the fact that that's a resolution, the third class city code does permit attendance due to illness, et cetera, as I outlined, I believe she would be able to participate in that.
So you're going by the weaker of the two. I mean, the city always has the right to make things stronger with any law or a resolution. You can't make the state law weaker. In this case, they made it stronger, and now we're going back to the weaker side for one person. I don't know that we can do it. Do we have the right to do that, to repeal it to today? I mean, we made the rules stronger. I mean, I would stand here and say that just like the state doesn't say that it's illegal to park on the side of the street for more than 12 hours. The city says that if you park on Independence Street, you're gonna pay a meter and you can be ticketed for parking there after your money runs out. We can make laws stronger, we can't make them weaker, but we can't just then, if we don't like it because suddenly it doesn't fit our agenda, we can't just overlook it. You put the rule in place for a reason. I would ask that everybody uphold the will of the people that voted and put everybody on this panel, and you guys put this into place. You can make it stronger, you can't make it weaker. In this case, you made it stronger, and now you gotta hold up to it, you gotta live by it. That's the way it is.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. I'll turn the next so that you can hear over on this side of the building.
Your recommendation is that we allow her to participate.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Anything with the minutes?
So, at the next meeting, August meeting, we will have the May and June minutes.
Mr. Slater, could you please speak up? I can't hear anything with the fan, I'm sorry.
We're going to shut the fan off because we don't have the convenience. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
And in regards to the mayor's question, Mrs. Scandal, my response was that at the August meeting, both the May and June minutes will be available.
Anything under bills? We have a motion to approve the bills for May 2023 as listed on the bill list. May I get a motion?
You do the second one at the same time.
Okay. Also a motion to approve the bills from June 2023 as listed on the bill list. I have a motion for both those.
I'll make a motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Anything on the question?
Councilman Milburn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lachinsky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Moyer,
Yeah,
Councilwoman Ennis,
Yes.
Mayor Ulrich,
Yes.
motion carries unanimous.
Okay. Under director's reports, accounts and finances.
Treasurer's report for the month of June 2023. General fund balance, $660,444.94. Total liquid fuels balance, $233,791.25. Total library balance, $698,297.80. Total sinking fund number one debt service balance, $142,566.58. Total sinking fund number two recreation, $362,092.10. Total street lighting balance, $8,581.66. Total American Legion balance, $263.42. Total neighborhood mitigation fund balance, $39,900.03. Total code department credit card balance, $5,861.50. Total police department credit card balance, $4,537.01. And those credit card accounts are people using cards and they go to a separate account. The total balance in all funds is $2,156,306.29. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, Mrs. Moyer, anything under parks and public building?
yeah, just a couple of comments, Mayor. Things are going very well at the pool, thanks to Larry and our great staff. We're happy to have pretty much struggling again. We will have to do about that at the end of this evening. I also want to thank, all who made Independence on Independence possible, and also our great fireworks display. That's it, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. How about Mrs. Lashinsky?
I don't have anything to say.
All right, thank you. Public safety,
Okay, well, we can start in the code office. Our rental revenue this month, for the month of June was, $1,125. Parking permits were $2,497.50, and other permits, miscellaneous permits were $12,856.71. For a total revenue collected from the code office of $16,479.21. The code office, actively, answered 83 complaints. They issued 3 code tickets, sent out 45 violations, notices of violation. There were 51 citations written, 9 landlord inspections, 3 properties were posted unfit, and they responded to 5 fire calls. Also wrote out 19 warnings. You know, we get a lot of complaints that the code office isn't doing their job, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. And I've been accused of praising the code office. Well, I think they are doing their job. I've got to disagree with those who think they're not. I think people who don't think they're doing their job should stand up and possibly put their feet in the code officer's shoes and see how it is. It's a very busy job. It's one job that I sure as heck wouldn't like to have. And I think our code officers, both our part-time and full-time, are doing their best. There's only so much, and I think the chief of police right now would probably back me on this, that there's so much that they can do when it comes to what they can do. And they're doing the best job they can. I don't believe Bruce really has an idle minute here during the day. Okay, from the fire department, for the month of May, or for the month of June, I'm sorry, we had 2 service calls, 8 fire calls, 10 fire alarms, 1 hazardous condition call, 3 rescue emergency service calls, 10 special incidents, and 2 severe weather calls for a total of 36 calls for the month of May. And out of those calls, 4 of them were actually working fires. And we also gave mutual aid to 13 calls, and we received in our working fires, received mutual aid from out-of-town units on 2 of those. That's a report from the fire department. I would also like to, as Mrs. Moyer, I would like to give credit to whoever worked at, collected money for, and organized the fireworks this year. Because I think our fireworks this year in the city of Shamokin were second to none. I have probably seen the fireworks every single year, but don't think I missed one from the beginning of when we started them. And this was by far, this was the most outstanding display that's been put on in years. And I really think that they deserve a lot of credit. And let's give them a hand. And that's all I have. Thanks.
thank you. Mr. Controller,
Nothing for this evening, Mayor.
thank you. Treasurer,
Nothing, sir.
thank you.
She said,
Wait.
CDBG.
Hello, Mayor, hello, Council. I provide you all your monthly report. There's some over there on the table if anybody from the public would like any. Just go over a couple quick, updates. Let's see. So you do know you were, recipients of 2.675 million for your downtown, makeover, your streetscape. So welcome back, Eamon, now that you're back, and once you're done with, I know you had some catching up to do. I'll help you get set up, there's a called ECMS, through PennDOT, so I'll help you get set up with your computer for that. Also, I'm working to get a CFA multimodal grant in. So I do not have the amount yet, it's probably gonna be around $1.5 million. So as soon as I have that amount, I'll be coming to council for permission to apply for that, and that's to piggyback on your funds that you already have. Also, I'm going to be putting in, it's for, EPA Brownfield Job Training Grant, and that would give you $500,000. So that is, it's specifically for communities that have high unemployment or underemployment, and also has brownfield. So we look like we could be a very good candidate for this, so I plan on putting in for that one as well. We're actively working to get funding for your American Legion building. And, also, right now, we are, for your H&H, your hydrologic and hydraulic H&H study. What is happening right now is your appeal is officially in with FEMA and it's under official review. So everything was sent in a timely manner and they are reviewing it, they will let us know. Volunteer Park footbridge, plan, that would be your feasibility study for the footbridge and also the master plan. DCNR told us it scored very high, the grant application, we won't know for a couple months. EPA community-wide brownfield assessment grant, looks like we're gonna be finishing that grant out about a year early, so that's very good. And with your blessing, I'll put in for another one. So, those are the most, the home HUD program is going very well. We have a very long waiting list, so I don't promote that very much because I don't wanna have people call us and say, you've got 10 years on the list. It is still going on, and, I think those are the main things going on. Any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, now I'll send it over to Tanya, who is your new CDBG coordinator.
Good evening, I'd like to call to order the final public hearing for the City of Shamokin 2023 Community Development Block Grant Program. The purpose of this hearing is to review the project selected for the 2023 CDBG application. I'd like to call attention to the agenda in front of you. So the total allocation for the fiscal year of 2023 is $308,042. There are two projects that have been selected for funding. The removal of blighted structures, phase 2. The city has created a list of the most hazardous blighted properties and will work to gain control of the properties as they can and demolish private property when it poses an immediate emergency situation. All properties selected for demolition have a negative property value and will have been vacant for more than a year to avoid removing housing for LMI individuals. Upon completion, the lots will be restored to grass. The second project selected is the downtown streets reconstruction of Liberty and Water Streets. This reconstruction of Water Street between 9th and Liberty and from Liberty to Water to Independence will consist of milling to keep utility lines accessible. The paving will consist of tack coat, scratch coat, and final wearing coat. The road work will result in extending the useful life of the street at least 7 years. Our CDBG administration will be $53,700. The downtown streets reconstruction is $178,039.40. And the removal of blighted structures is $76,302.60. Now I'd like you to turn your packet to page 2. This is the draft of resolution to apply. The grantee will be formally considering and approving at the public meeting scheduled on August 7th. It will be here at 6 o'clock. The resolution officially directs CDBG to submit the application to DCED on behalf of the city and provides approval of the mayor to sign the required application pages. If you go to page 3, this is the draft of fair housing resolution for 2023. And on page 2, it lists the number to call for any complaints or grievances regarding fair housing issues. On the last page, you'll note this is section 504, a drafted resolution for 2023, naming Robert M. Slavy as the local 504 officer and contact for any 504 complaints or issues. Now I'd like to open it to public comment or questions.
I have a question. Why aren't we using any of the liquid fuels money for Lincoln and Liberty streets?
I can't hear you.
Why aren't we using any liquid fuels money for Lincoln and Liberty Streets? I think that'd be more of a question for Kevin.
But like that's what liquid fuels basically is for, streets.
I truly understand that, and unless Kevin comes to me with the streets that he's proposing, he has also in the past worked with Linda in regards to CDBG funding as to what streets and so forth. I'll be glad to ask him tomorrow that
Yeah.
question.
He
Thank
might
you.
be able to even piggyback off of that, those streets while they're doing that paving to get some extra done at a, probably a better cost for our liquid fuels money,
Yeah, because
if they're already there.
we have money in the fuels. That's all the same issue. Yeah,
So I would talk to Kevin, he usually has pretty good plans about
Yes, he
stuff.
does. And that's usually done well in advance. I'll be glad to talk to him tomorrow.
Hey, I know there are certain things with liquid fuels, what people earn, and it goes by that with the streets, but, yeah, please ask them. That's my only question, because that would give us more monies, either like Doreen said, to piggyback on, or more money to remove blighted structures, because we have.
The light on here is at their cap on CDBG, so that's all they can put into light, so the rest of it they put into the streets and then admin use.
Okay. And we're done with the fire trucks, so.
Ray,
Yes.
you have anything?
For the month of June, 3 juvenile petitions, 34 criminal complaints, 3 traffic citations, or non-traffic, 29 traffic citations, 279 parking tickets, 1 parking citation, 231 sweeper tickets, 8 code violation tickets. The total calls for the month, 1,645, and 4,038 miles were patrolled.
I'm sorry, to see the car. I'm sorry. I apologize
Short
for
of
that.
that one.
I am calling.
It's a good breaking in night, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Jesse, did you?
Okay. Couple of months back, you talked about a large grant that's going to go a lot of the city streets. Is that what part of this is? Or is this something?
No, we
totally
don't
different?
have any large grant that's gonna do a lot of the city streets yet. So if we do apply, we have not applied for one, no.
Because I thought you guys were talking about a grant that was gonna cover a lot of the streets, and it was questionable which, like First Street, because it's being split in half between Cole Township and.
I believe that was the grant that she was trying to secure from Congressman Newsom's office.
No, it was a separate one, you're correct. So, hold on.
Okay.
So we had the CFA multimodal.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, so I applied for that. We were supposed to go back in October of last year if we were successful with that. We did not find out till maybe a month ago that we were not successful with that. So we have to see, first of all, with the 2.675 million, that's not gonna cover all of Independence Street. So that's why I'm gonna do another CFA multimodal. I'm in talks with PennDOT right now to find, actually DCED and PennDOT, to find out why we weren't successful, because last time I put in for 2 million. So I might have to take it down to like 1.5 million. So our top priority is to finish what we've started. And then we might have to do a PennDOT multimodal, to finish that. So yes, that is on the horizon, and what we will do before we apply is we'll work with Kevin Richardson and also CDBG to find out what are the top roads that have to get fixed, what can't CDBG tackle. So it'll be a whole process, but you are correct.
Yeah, I mean, just what I'm trying to draw to is if there's any way to use some of this funding here to get up on Bunker Hill.
No,
I mean,
not
because-
CDBG.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the falls outside of the
Correct.
income threshold there. Those roads haven't been paved since the inception of Shamokin.
1970.
Oh, and I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, I mean, so we have some roads that really need to work together. I would rather see liquid fuels funds go to pave half a block on Bunker Hill than to be used on Independence Street if we can get,
If they can.
if we can get monies for
Because they
other
have
things.
rules too with the liquid fuels, it might not be eligible for there, so,
It's restricted.
yeah, it's very
Yeah.
restrictive.
I do want to make mention too, this is only for 2023 funds. I know that Kevin already has in the works, areas on First Street. I'm not sure of all the streets that he has, but we have 2022 funds, 2021 funds that we're still working on. So there are other projects that will come before these.
Okay. Can we expedite any of them by?
Kevin's working on it.
I mean, getting some roads fixed would make him look a little bit better.
No, we are definitely working on it with Kevin.
I mean, you know, the vote we're gonna have later tonight, fix some roads, make him look a little bit better.
Yeah, Kevin is in the process of getting those taken care of, so
I appreciate
should
that.
be seeing some action soon.
Thank you, Mr. McClure. Thank you.
One more. One more. So, formal action will be taken on the discussed items at our regular meeting on August 7th. And those are to approve the projects and allocations for fiscal year 2023, CDBG funding, approve the resolution to submit the city's community development block grant application to DCED, approve the fair housing resolution, and to approve the 504 officer resolution. So, at this time, if there's no further comments, I'd like to adjourn the July 11th, 2023 CDBG final public hearing.
And again, I apologize for
Oh,
the
it's
internet.
okay. I'm used to it.
I'm sorry. All right, moving on, we have new business.
Under new business, first reading of ordinance 23-04. Ordinance number 23-04, an ordinance of the city of Shamokin, Northumberland County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the Northumberland County Board of Elections to submit to the electors of the city of Shamokin the question of electing a government study commission at the November 7, 2023 general election. Whereas the home rule charter and option plan laws 53 per the statute, section 2911A authorizes the governing body of the municipality to approve by ordinance the submission of the question to the electors of the municipality form a government study commission. Whereas the governing body, City of Shamokin, desires to submit a question to the city's electors on whether to form a government study commission, now therefore be it ordained and enacted by the City Council of the City of Shamokin, County of Northumberland, County, Pennsylvania as follows. Section 1, City Council authorizes the Northumberland County Board of Elections to place the following question before the electors of the City of Shamokin at the November 7, 2023 general election. Shall a government study commission of 7 members be elected to study the existing form of government in the municipality, to consider the advisability of the adoption of the home rule charter, and if advisable, to draft and to recommend the home rule charter. Home Rule Charter. Section 2, City Council authorizes the municipal secretary to file a certified copy of this ordinance with the Northumberland County Board of Elections, together with a copy of the question to be submitted to the city electors. Section 3, if any section, clause, provision shall be held invalid or unconstitutional by any court of competent jurisdiction, such decision shall not affect any other section, clause, provision, or portion of this ordinance, so long as it remains legally enforceable minus the invalid portion. The city reserves the right to amend this ordinance or any portion thereof from time to time, as it shall be advisable in the best interest of the promotional purposes and intent of this ordinance and the effective administration thereof. This ordinance was enacted by the council of the city of Shamokin under the authority of the act of the legislature, November 24, 2015, Act number 67, known as the Third Class C Code, and any other applicable law arising under the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Section 5, this ordinance hereby repeals ordinance 2023-03. Section 6, this ordinance shall become effective as provided by the city code. So we would need a motion.
Can I have a motion for this?
I will make a motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Thank you. Anything on the question? Mr. Slavy?
Councilman Milburn,
No.
Councilwoman Waschinsky,
No.
Councilwoman Warrior,
Yes.
Councilwoman Andrus,
Yes.
Mayor Ulrich.
Yes.
The motion carries 3 yeas, 2 nays.
Mr. Slavy, would recommend the council hold a special meeting on July 24th or 25th for
Yes,
putting this on for the second reading.
this was,
At the proper advertisement.
yes, this will be properly advertised tomorrow. With a meeting, you mark your calendars with a special general purpose meeting on July, I don't have a calendar, but I think it's July 25th.
Tuesday.
That's the Tuesday.
Yeah, the 25th or 26th, one of those two.
Probably the 24th or 25th is better. Time.
One of those 2 days, unless there was overwhelming objection. Mrs. Moyer, you hear what I'm saying?
I do hear what you're saying, yes.
Okay. So the members will keep those 2 dates open. I'll let you know first thing tomorrow morning which one I've selected. Does anybody have a preference? You want to tell me now or as we go downstairs?
I have work both days that I am available from 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. So these are my preferences. Either day, I work at 6.
Available?
Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday, but Monday's fine. Anytime.
Monday?
Monday's the 24th.
It's fine with you, Mrs. Waschinsky, Mr. November.
6 p.m.
6 o'clock.
Fine.
Mrs. Meyer, we look like we can have a meeting on Monday, but I believe Mr. Greco said it's the 24th, and that's be at 6 o'clock. That's a special meeting to deal with this ordinance.
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, back to you.
And, this is, I just want to, you did video us, right? Okay, thank you. Anything under unfinished business? Boards and committees? Solicitor report?
Nothing.
Okay. Citizens' comments?
Yes. Under unfinished business. If you will. Can I take 1 second? On the unfinished business, I just want to make note that after the, and Larry, I'm not yelling at you, but after the press release that I wasn't attending the last meeting, I was here, and before I could back my vehicle into the parking space, former councilman, Jerry Bogetti jumped into my vehicle and he says, "Come on, let's take a ride." I didn't know what he wanted to show me, if he wanted to, and everybody was saying, the meeting's canceled, the meeting's canceled. Jerry jumped in my truck, and when we went, I didn't know what he wanted, whether he wanted to show me some blinded properties or what he wanted, but I didn't even have a chance to back my vehicle into the parking place out front. So, just for the record, please, I was at that meeting that was canceled. Even though I was saying that I was not here, I was here.
You said you were in a truck.
What's that?
You said you were in a truck.
I was backing into the parking place.
How did you get in the meeting?
I was present. I was present here in City Hall. And backing in when, if we want to get that technical about it, I wasn't here, all right? Larry, if that's the way it has to be, that's the way it has to be. That's not technical. I was present here in City Hall. The former councilman, Bogetti jumped into my truck and said, "I need to show you something, the meeting's canceled." I was here and it was before 6 o'clock. So if you want to get technical about it, and the newspaper wants to get technical about it, so be it, but I was here.
All right. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Jim Keel here. I'm back with my property 911, 913 Clay Street, marked with the big X. Three children live down the hill. Of course, school's out now. Thankfully to the city guys that came up and fenced it in with fire or police tape or whatever, but it's still bad. It's still, a hazard. And I know we're tearing down two properties, but I'm hearing nothing about, what about these other ones? Like the one where the three little kids live down the street, will be walking by there going to school, and they're walking up the hill with caved in sidewalks. And that's, I don't have any photos though today, but I just wanted to.
Mr. Keel, I was just by your house last week. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was by to see if by some chance, there's any positive activity going on. And you're right, sir. It looks as bad today as it did when I came down to your house and I brought people with me, the code officer and so forth. Because after that is when I sent the Public Works Department out to put that orange fence up and that yellow tape. And I'm sorry that you are still living in that hellhole.
Like, I don't live in a hellhole, but
Not
the
you,
little kids come by it.
and I understand that. You and I talked. What's there to stop a little kid from falling down? They'll find them maybe the next day. It's terrible down there.
I just wanted to bring it back up since I wasn't here for a while. Thank you very much for
Thank you,
listening to
Mr.
me.
Keel. Mr. Keel,
Yes.
if you would, if you wait until the meeting's over, just in case I don't have your phone number, I'd like to have it, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we checked with Bruce, I'm sure he has the light listing and see, that he trying to advertise it and see where this is at on there as far as getting it pulled down.
It's terrible, it's very, it's dangerous.
Do you know who owns it, Bob? Is it an out of state or?
I don't know.
I'm sure it's from Bruce's radar, I bet he knows,
I was just there last week.
because I know Bruce was up there last year. So,
All right, Mr. Starr?
First, I'd like to start out with saying that I'm objecting to the vote because, again, city passed a rule, ordinance, whatever you want to call it, that there's only 2 phone calls. So, I would look at the police chief then at that point and say, if they don't follow their own rules and laws that they put in place, how do you enforce the public to follow the rules and the laws that they put in place if they don't follow their own ordinances, rules, and regulations that they're passing?
I don't see any relevant between the chief who enforces criminal law versus civil law.
So law is law, in my opinion, whether it's civil or whether it's criminal, you shouldn't break it if it's already there, if it was passed. So we're getting to pick and choose which ones we're gonna break and which ones we're not. That's my concern. So, look, your mayor, I'd like to then refocus you then to another topic. So just like you guys broke your own ordinance or whatever you want to call it here tonight, RDA that you appointed me to, they were legally posted for having their meeting here tonight at 6:30, and they then changed that this afternoon to the attorney's office without any public notice to the public, other than putting a sign on the door here and a sign on the attorney's door down there. And then they go and add more bills to the to their schedule for tonight to vote on. 2 hours before we're supposed to sit down for that meeting at 6:30 at the attorney's office. So if we're gonna hold people accountable, we need to hold ourselves accountable to start with. And in this case, we're gonna fall back on an attorney saying they gave a legal opinion to move forward with and accept her vote. The RDA is gonna stand there and do the same thing because their attorney stood there and said, I'm making the legal decision that it's legal for us to change locations without publicizing it to the public 24 hours in advance or posting our information like everybody else has got to do. So I ask that at some point we intervene with a board to review what laws are being broken by our public officials, our appointed officials on different boards, organizations, because again, if we're not as a mayor and council going to hold ourselves to things that we've already passed, how are we going to hold all of these other associations liable to the same laws that we're supposed to be held to? So, Mayor, I ask that you not sign this resolution for the first reading tonight, based on the fact that you signed earlier in your 2 years here that we would only do 2 phone calls, and let this go back to a vote when we're actually going to do it with the actual people here, or retake that vote tonight, since this is the time and place for it. Retake the vote with what we have present, because at this point it would be a tie vote.
Not signing anything,
I didn't hear you, Tony.
He won't be signing anything tonight, this is to get it, to advertise it in the paper.
Yeah, but this is the first reading.
First reading, yes.
Correct. And the vote tonight shouldn't have happened for the first reading.
All right, thank you, Mr. Storm.
Thank you.
Under announcement. All right, at this time, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for coming.